we begin tonight with the issue of pensions in Nigeria. Elderly people are being forced to travel long distances and even sleep on the streets of Abuja just to get their pensions paid. To try and address the difficulties they're facing, a new service center has been set up by the country's pension provider for government workers. Thureya Farouk reports.
There are lots of problems when it comes to claiming a pension in Nigeria. Some elderly people have even been declared dead and been deprived of the money owed to them. They are then subjected to degrading treatment from state officials when asking for their pensions to be reinstated. Official figures on pensions are hard to come by, but we know that in 2019, the Nigerian government owed retirees more than 400 billion naira. These issues facing former government workers are now being tackled by the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate.
This is expressed in terms of standards, in terms of information available to them, the choice they need to make in assessing the service, consultations available in the process, provisions and delivery, and these standards around non-discriminatory delivery of services to citizens, and very importantly, accessibility and grievance redress where services fail, is a tool that engages the provider with the service taker so they can both be on the same page. PITAD is ready, more than ready, to serve and touch lives by the quality of services they render to our special pensioners and all the stakeholders.
These people told Arise News about the difficulties they've faced trying to get their pensions paid.
Initially, pensioners used to sleep on the street of Abuja when they come to process their pension. But with the coming of PITAD, they have digitalized some of these programs, and it is making it a bit simple for us. Yeah, for monthly pension, since we joined PITAD, I think it was only once they paid across the next month. Usually, PITAD used to pay us from 25 to 30. They don't cross the month. When I mean cross the month means they pay you within that 30 days.
There are some pensioners that have complaints and they are being addressed. It will improve services to our pensioners because we now have another platform to reach PITAD if we have issues.
The pension provider says they are willing to be held accountable if their promises are not delivered. They are pledging to improve relationships with customers and respond to complaints quickly. According to officials, this new Servicom service charter hopes to improve the quality of service for pensioners around the country. Thureya Farouk, Arise News, Abuja.
All right, thank you so much, Thureya. There, we're joined by the Executive Secretary of the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, Dr. Chioma Ejikeme. Glad to have you join us, Chioma. Dr. Chioma.
Thank you.
Why do they have to travel long distances to get paid?
Thank you, but we don't have that situation, as it were, in PITAD. What you should know is that PITAD was set up as a result of the Pension Reform Act of 2004. And the pension reform was to address all these anomalies in pension administration. And that's exactly what PITAD has been doing. We have channels of communication for our pensioners. We have a call center with toll-free lines. We have state offices. They have access to get to us, write letters to us. We are on social media. They send emails to us. So we actually discourage them from coming to us in the event that they have complaints.
Okay. It does seem from that report that PITAD's, intervention is making some difference. But the Pension Reform Act you refer to, it seems to still, it needs to go even further. There are situations where, especially with, government employees, where funds are not remitted, even private companies who don't remit, their contributions. What exactly is PITAD doing about that?
PITAD actually takes care of pensioners who retired under the defined benefit scheme.
Okay.
And the defined benefit scheme is the 100% treasury funded pension scheme that was in place before the pension reforms. And it involves the pensioners who didn't transit to the contributory pension scheme. The contributory pension scheme is a new scheme that the government is running. So we have a group of pensioners who retired before 2007. So those are the people we are taking care of. The pensions are 100% treasury funded.
All right. Okay.
So we're not part of the contributory pension scheme.
At all.
All right. Those outside these people you've described now, how are you getting them on board? That's one. How they're being captured so they can be helped as well, if you like, you call it that, is what is due them, but if you like, you call it helped as well. Then tell us about the new service center set up by the pension provider.
You asked the first question. You said those
outside what you talked about, treasury.
Well, they are actually regulated by PENCOM.
Okay.
The National Pension Commission. So they are not within our purview. So that's a PENCOM issue. And what we did today was to launch our Servicom Service Charter. And it's actually a document to communicate our service promise to our stakeholders and to also communicate our expected delivery standards.
Okay, help us break those down. What exactly should Nigerians be expecting from this launch today and from Peter generally? And I'd also like you to address the fact that, you know, there's this infrastructure gap, and one of the areas where government says it needs to dip its fingers into is the pension funds. Maybe you want to talk about that and how, you know, maybe investment opportunities for pensioners.
That's still a PENCOM issue.
It's still a PENCOM issue?
Yes.
Okay.
The pension funds you're talking about, that's a PENCOM issue.
Okay.
We get our funds from the Consolidated Revenue Fund, from the government treasury. So it's government 100% funding here. Nobody is contributing. No stakeholder, no pensioner makes any contribution.
Okay,
they didn't make any. They didn't make any.
And these are for government workers.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, before the pension reform, there was a pension scheme on ground, and it was 100% treasury funded. Nobody made any contributions, and a lot of issues contributed to the pension reform. One of it was the fact that the defined benefit 100% treasury funded scheme was no longer sustainable with dwindling government resources because government had to bring the money 100%.
So what is Peter bringing to the table? We need to understand that. With the event you had today.
With the event we have today, we actually have given like timelines. We have let the pensioners know what to expect from us and what we expect from them.
Like what?
We provide our services with empathy, with care. We treat our pensioners with dignity. We want them to know that their pension is their right, it's not a privilege, and they have a right to hold us accountable.
Maybe in one word, you can tell us what you expect from them, because you just have 10 seconds or 15 seconds in what you expect from them. This is what
we expect them to trust us, first of all, that we're going to give them quality service. And also, let me also seize this opportunity to tell them to stop patronizing fraudsters. There are a lot of fraudsters who tell them if you pay also so and so amount of money, we'll help you process your arrears or your entitlement. PTAD does not take money from anybody for that. Okay. So we want to send out that message to them that we're here to provide quality, timely service delivery to them.
All right, we'll hold you to that the next time we call on you. Thank you very much, Dr. Chioma.
And of course,
Ejikeme,
they know how to reach you.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD. Thank you very much.
Thank you.